Alrighty, we told you we'd be back. I think we lied a little. We said 5. You said 5-ish. So
Yeah.
that was it. Ish. Very heavy on the ish.
Eh, it's all relative
Yeah.
at the end of the day. That could be 5 minutes in some universe.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to hop right into the game. You guys don't need to look at our faces any longer. We've got T1 versus Virtus.pro. Two teams with a very different story for their day one. Virtus.pro, fantastic start.
Hey! That's Zephyr
know.
probably. He was spamming it yesterday too.
VP 5-1. They had some big wins. A 1-1 against OG was their one loss. Who did they beat again? Do you remember? I'm putting you on the spot here because I don't know.
I don't remember.
But
we have one job.
10 seconds remaining.
It'll come to me, I feel like. I definitely. I mean, there's 4 games at once. Do we have one job? I feel like,
It's a comprehensive job.
Okay.
But it is one job.
Watch and remember the outcome of 40 different Dota games that happened yesterday.
Something like that, yeah.
Know every draft and every pick. And
VP looked pretty convincing, though. I just specifically remember they had very different drafts throughout the games, and they had like one game where they had Darkseer, Bounty Hunter, and the game was like even at 10 minutes, and then the game was just over 15 minutes in. They just run away with it.
I think they 2-0'd Alliance. I think that was their second series.
They did 2-0 Alliance, that's true.
And their first series, still a blank.
Yeah,
Still got nothing. I think it might be against someone decent, though.
Oh, here they go.
They like their bounty. They had this yesterday. And T1, we're talking about the two team stories. They went 0-4. They had a rough day one. They lost to EG. They lost to IG. So yeah, not quite the day one they were hoping for.
So just so everyone knows, Virtus.pro beat OG yesterday with a one-position Dawnbreaker. I'm not saying it's going to be the case now, but it has the same threat that these Weavers and Monkey King have, where they can be played in multiple roles.
And you spent this morning watching of that replay with a fine-tooth comb, preparing the next BSJ carry video about how to play carry Dawnbreaker.
Whatever it takes for the YouTube views.
Yeah. What's the conclusion? Give us a spoiler.
I think it definitely needs. They had a Necro mid hero that kind of just like takes over parts of the map. So Dawnbreaker serves as a Spectre, but you have to go on one of your own heroes. So it's not like quite the same in regards to what it synergizes with. Like Spectre is best with like any stun, and then you jump them. While I think Dawnbreaker is more of a counter initiation haunt, quote unquote. She farmed pretty fast. I was watching him clear Ancients. He went for Echo Saber Radiance. Like that was his build against the Lycan that he was playing against. I think that they left him as core that game specifically for the core matchups. Like right now I'm looking at like Lina. I wouldn't say core Dawnbreaker feels particularly powerful against Weaver Lina. So I'm leaning towards it just being a support this game in particular. But the laning stage seemed pretty powerful. Dawnbreaker is known as a very strong laner, no matter what position she's played.
How flexible? Like, how many different roles are we talking?
I think she could be 1, 3, 4, 5. And I don't think mid is crazy either. So, I mean, she's got mobility, she's got somewhat of a stun, and she's got a teamfight ultimate. So, guys, I'm busy here. It's not even like that I'm upset that they're like drowning me out. I just can't even think straight.
Yeah.
Keep it PMA, keep it BS.
Now that one's fine. That's perfectly fine. That was not me, guys. That was the voice line. As long as we're not in game itself where people can see it at the bottom, I could just be like, keep it PMA, keep it BSJ. Act like they're spamming my voice line.
5 seconds remaining.
They'll never know.
I have no idea what we're talking about, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it's completely distracting. You can see why these teams have it, right? During the game, their goal is to make you forget about whatever you're thinking of.
But, okay, so you've talked about the Dawnbreaker bounty. VP seems to be one of the only teams playing this hero, from what I can tell. But they've always liked this hero. What do you think makes Bounty Hunter? What makes VP tick when it comes to Bounty Hunter?
I just think it's the pace of the game they like to play out of the laning phase. They ramp up that speed of the game real fast compared to a lot of other teams. They really they're the young. Are they the youngest team in this tournament?
Yeah, I think average age
so.
is
they're like 19 or 20.
Yeah,
they're all insanely young. So
DM's the oldest and he's 21.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of zoomers. That means they zoom, and Bounty Hunter he zooms. So it makes sense. Lore checks out, but also they're just mechanically very strong, very very powerful team that naturally is going to favor them in the laning phase. and they're going to capitalize on that. Very true to the Eastern European playstyle of old.
Yep.
The Divide playstyle, as Earthshaker is going to
10
attempt to maybe
seconds remaining.
slow down the Divide, but
5
might be a bit
seconds
slow.
remaining.
I think. Like, if it's support Shaker, generally seen as, like, very greedy because he needs that 5-10 minutes to chill and farm that Blink Dagger, which that 5-10 minutes comes usually between the end of the laning phase and, like, the 15-minute mark, and that's exactly where Bounty Hunter stops letting you farm. So that, I don't know how I feel about that pick.
Do you like it more if it's going to be played in a offlane role, as we've seen?
Yeah, it might just have to be. Are they considering Morphling, is my question, because they're not going to get it last for T1. It's not a bad Morphling
Ooh.
game so far. I imagine that's the deliberation period here. They insta-picked the Shaker, so if they were going to go like a 1-2 punch combo, you'd think it would come out right away. So I guess they weren't thinking about that.
Not a crazy pick or anything, but does reveal a bit more about perhaps some of these lanes and roles. We know Lion's going to be a support. Suggests Lina is going to be the mid, I guess, is probably what that says to me.
10 seconds
Maybe we kind of
remaining.
already knew that.
I think Lina's pretty much exclusively a mid.
Okay.
5 seconds remaining.
I think the stun nerf, like that nerf to the stun, I like understood what they were going for, but I didn't really like it because it just kind of ruins support, which means you're like pigeonholing a hero into one playstyle in one role, which I think is not what Dota's about.
Okay.
You know, we're all about the versatility. But it's fine. I think Lina's still Lina, just not a support Lina.
A lot of the line we've seen has been kind of 4-position offlane, so it could be like a Lion Shaker lane if it's a core Shaker, but...
What are we left with then, like a 5 Weaver?
Yeah, 5 or a 1. But are you really going to last pick a... I mean, I guess you could. You don't have the overall last pick, so it's not crazy to pick a 5, but...
It could just be 5 Lion, 4 Weaver.
Yeah.
We saw the Weaver or Shaker last game.
Yep.
Didn't work, but doesn't mean it's not good.
Disruptor, one of the popular 5 positions.
Eastern
10
Europe
seconds
has
remaining.
always loved Disruptor.
Yep.
That's like a solo classic.
Yep.
5
Fits really well with the
seconds
Bounty
remaining.
Hunter. Generally, with heroes like Bounty Hunter that lack disables, the biggest issue is people just leave or walk away. And we saw how powerful it was against the Weaver last game. Seems like the ideal candidate, because not only do you lock down the Weaver, but you also drag him back. So we were all about that running away in that Sakuchi. I don't think there's a better hero in the game to catch him, to be honest.
Virtus.pro's turn to bans.
See some of these last bans now. Lycan, Morphling, you mentioned if they wanted him, they had to pick him where they picked the line. It's going to get banned out. Just covering their bases a bit. Not to say VP couldn't handle a Shaker Morphling, but you just know it's a strong pairing that
That's
you maybe
like
just
an
don't deal
SEA
with.
special, right?
Yeah.
That was TNC when they won the major.
10
Yeah,
seconds remaining.
absolutely. So let's not mess around with it, say
5
VP. And they may just not have
seconds
played it in a little while and be like, okay, is it good, is it not? Let's not find out.
Virtus.pro's
Yeah,
turn to
Savage is like a
ban.
grandmaster tier Morphling player. That guy's a beast on the Morphling. Last thing you want to do is give him that.
For T1, I'm curious, you know, we've talked about them being 0-4. How much of that do you think it's them just not playing as well as they did at the major, or do you think
10
it's draft and
seconds
strategy
remaining.
more?
I think playing well in the major might have just hurt
5
them.
seconds
To be honest,
remaining.
like the fact that teams maybe give them a little bit more respect with how much they study them and everything, or maybe they got a lot of information revealed to them about T1. I'm not sure because they were kind of off the radar before that.
Yeah.
It's like suddenly you get a top 3 and you're doing pretty well at the ESL tournaments. People they're going to be studying you a bit, and maybe they're limited on the warning game.
Yep.
Could just be the vision game. You never
10
know.
seconds
They need to
remaining.
pull a Beast Coast and get knocked out of groups and then show up in 2-0 secret.
Exactly.
seconds remaining.
Exactly.
Virtus.pro's
Oh,
turn to
T1 going to round things off. It is a carry last pick, but with no Morphling, no Void, they go for the Medusa. You mentioned pace, and I feel like
that's
yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. That was you read
What
my
does this
mind.
do for you? Yeah.
I'm down for like a Darkseer here.
10 seconds
Oh, they banned it.
remaining.
Okay, I was actually like, wait, what?
So perfect. Let's see.
5 seconds remaining.
Beastmaster, that's a hero that hasn't
It actually
popped up
struggles
too much.
really
这
hard
么
in
菜
lane
的队友不
versus
生
Medusa.
气吧，哥哥？
So if they think it's really good for the game, which I agree with you, it actually is, that's fine. But VP doesn't seem like the team to accept a lane loss when they have such a fast tempo. I would personally be surprised that this is a carry Dawnbreaker because it doesn't look fantastic against all of these stuns.
Yeah.
She's like kind of a clunky hero, right? Like all of her abilities are cancelable. All of them. Literally all of them.
So you'd rather see pick'em carry here. It's going to be a Venom, so don't
Wow.
imagine it's a carry.
No, that's a carry Dawnbreaker for sure. Yeah, no, yeah. We'd seen it once. We just weren't sure because we've also seen Save play it before. Yeah, this I guess Venomancer's pretty similar to Necro in regards to like the role filled to setting up like the Dawnbreaker. You're pushing lanes.
Yep.
You're like a dangler for the Dawnbreaker counter initiation on the ultimate. They don't really want to build BKBs on anyone but Carl. Like Cuckoo doesn't want to build one first. He's not gonna have one for a while. We saw how long it took last game. Medusa's never want to buy BKB. I hope 23 Savage doesn't fall victim to the same problem that MNZ had, where he didn't build his.
Eventually, yeah, you kind of just
You just have to.
fourth item or something.
Yeah, you're against
you need the
Disruptor
BKB.
Veno.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice there. I personally believe VP will run away with this game. But if T1 does what they do best, which is just kind of stall out the game and force a stalemate while 23 Savage eventually becomes the strongest hero in the game, his hero absolutely will be the strongest hero in the game eventually.
Yep.
But man, like,
Getting there.
yeah, the pace though, like Nightfall's ultimate's the only cooldown they're really reliant upon. I don't even think Disruptor ultimate's that important to like their game plan.
The player, every time I see T1 play, I always feel is so crucial to their success. And this game more than ever is this guy, Cuckoo, playing the Shaker, core Shaker. Like, if they want to get to that point with Medusa comes online, I feel like a lot of that is up to him.
我不理解。
What a punk. Prepare for battle.
So it seems like it wasn't just a one-off from VP, the Dawnbreaker carry. That's what I was wondering yesterday when I was like watching the game back. How reliable does this look? I don't think he's going to go the Radiance build again. I think it'll be more like the Echo Saber BKB Deso, something like that. Just like more up in your face. Might even go like a Scotty, just something to make it harder for Deuce to do her job.
Whitemon with the Ravage, but he looks pretty dead. He's trying to get the high five. Save says, see you later.
They tried to deny him. They both attacked at the same time between the Lina and I believe who was the other hero there? I think that was the Weaver.
Weaver on Medusa.
Yeah, Weaver on Medusa.
30 seconds.
Zephyr, one of my favorite players in the tournament now that he bought my voice line.
He was spamming the Dendy one there, though, at the start of the game.
I don't have like a rule of exclusivity here.
Okay.
He's allowed to, spam the voice lines of anybody he so chooses.
Yeah. You're a poly voicerist.
Yes. I was thinking.
Human being.
I was thinking of some reference to that, but I couldn't think.
Yeah, you're okay if it's not exclusive.
Yes.
But First Blood went to the Void Spirit. Always good news when your mid laner can get themselves a First Blood.
Yeah, he got a wand off of it, so he didn't elect to like rush his bottle any faster.
Yeah.
He's just choosing to. That's going to help him get there very smoothly, because I would say against Lina, the main issue he'll have is just getting bullied out of lane.
Oh my gosh, VP, you mentioned the overall aggression, and they're just launching him behind the tower. They almost get the kill. He doesn't have a TP. If he dies, even if he doesn't die, he's got no regen here.
Do they have a Salva on Whitemon?
Better hope so. He's got boots.
Yikes.
Couriers need to come out. They did deward, so these couriers are a little bit safer.
There's no salve on that courier. Okay, there's a salve on that courier.
But at the same time, does Bounty sniff this one out? They gotta, if they don't see this Bounty, they have to worry about these couriers. It looks like Save is just dragging the wave, so once they see that happen, they know these couriers can come out safely.
Venomancer is traditionally an incredibly weak level 1 hero. So if you're like winning the level 1 and having a really good start, once you get like level 3, 2 points up in the passive, Venomancer is just basically twice as strong as a hero.
Yeah. That's why they're just trying to pull these waves. They don't want to play the lane since that Venno is a bit weak at the level 1, so top lane will turn into 2 1v0 lanes, at least to some extent. When we look at mid lane, Lina versus Void Spirit. Gonna be tough for Lina with the first blood? Or is that not the case?
She's pretty favored here, I think,
Okay.
so it'll probably put it to about even.
Got it.
Carl's also, I'd say, one of the stronger mechanical mid laners.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry guys, I missed first blood. My bad. As first blood goes, Kuka gets picked up. We talked about him having a big game.
We saw first blood. That was line
Yeah,
earlier. We saw the line.
Oh no, that's true. That wasn't first blood. We got first blood. Never missed a first blood in my life. But I love BP. Always looking for the high fives. And always looking for aggression. These laning stages, they are absolutely on top of 23 Savage and on top of Whitemon. They're just on top of T1, not giving them any room to breathe. This is already looking VP favored, and we're just 2 minutes in.
And there's no signs of them ever slowing down, ever,
Yeah.
in this game. And they've got level 3 on DM. Really good job by dragging their way back and then giving him solo XP. The Bounty Hunter doesn't really need levels either, so this lane just has really innate synergy there.
What do you mean? You want to level up the Janata, don't you?
Well,
is it still called Janata?
It is
Hey,
indeed
okay,
still called Janata. I think you end up going 3-1-1, but maybe if they're like stomping the lane, you can just like
Get
max
that
out the
second
Janata.
point.
Just, it's probably good, not just for your own gold, but you're legit just stealing the precious gold that 23 Savage is managing to get. But you know the lane on Venomancer is going incredibly well when you go 2-1-0.
Okay.
Like when your skill build has 2 points in Gale, you know you're just spamming it on the opponent carry. And in this case, Medusa has no way to remove it. So that's a lot of damage. How much is the Gale damage total? It's 75 plus 5 times 45, which is 300 damage. That is a lot of damage.
Ouch. Ouch, yeah.
Yeah, that's
A lot of damage, and Zephyr dealing with a lot of damage down bottom is going to survive through the Thunderstrike, but gets low. It's 2 point. Everything they do, 2 points in Gale, 2 points in Thunderstrike. They're all about trying to run over and crush these lanes.
okay.
VP just loving the early game lane aggression. Won't latch on with that Gale. Nice little side step from 23 Savage, and DM is off the mark, but he's already got an Urn up.
But until if they get another kill in this lane, I think top's going to become a disaster. But if they manage to just hold the door on Whitemon as well as 23 Savage, don't give him any Urn charges, that it's like one kill is going to bleed into a lot more kills.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking here.
And this wave is pushed so far away from the Deuce's tower, making it so hard. Down bottom, Cuckoo does do a nice job with Zephyr to turn things around and get a kill on the Disruptor there. Save is just being a constant nuisance on this bounty.
Yeah, they're trying to pull the camps to like fix the lane, and he's just not letting this happen. Not on my watch, he says. Wait, what?
Not on my watch either.
How does Nightfall solo kill a Weaver? You know, I think we should take zero responsibility for that missed kill right there.
Blame it on the players.
Yeah, I don't know.
Please tweet your T-Turs at Nightfall and
No, Nightfall's fine.
Oh, okay.
He made the right play somehow.
at Zephyr then.
Yeah, it has to be Zephyr. He needs to spam my voice line a few times to avoid that happening again.
Yep.
A bauble from the void.
But Kingslayer constantly just trying to play up in their face. 23 Savage up top. Does have a TP, but maybe thinking he can't go for it, especially if Save is appointing the Shuriken. And
Nice!
yeah, very well done.
Still get Urn charges, though.
Okay. And now he's
He just used it on himself to
popping,
get back up.
defensively. Okay. Jeez, this top lane is brutal. Mid lane going pretty well, and this may be up to Carl to kind of come online and make something happen. Tick, 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 tick. TP, he's safe. Whew.
That was awfully close. Did they use their Urn charge on him, too?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that they're back down to square one with 0 Urn charges.
Yep. That's why I went for that kill, trying to use them all up and get a free 2. But heads up play from Whitemon to get out of there as the rune's coming up. GPK survives the Laguna Blade, and he's going to get out of there. Astral steps his way.
Got the rune, too.
And yeah, snagging the rune, the raindrop saving his life there, it looked like. Oh, sentry already there. That's going to allow Whitemon to de-ward. Okay, should find it. There we go.
That feels so good as support. You're struggling. Lane's been a bit rough.
Yeah.
Walk up the high ground and there's just a ward there. On top of
It was the
already
same
playing
sentry, yeah. That got another ward. Here we go, the first dive. There's the Dawnbreaker ultimate comes charging on in. Looking for that last bit of damage to bring down Carl, and one more right click, GPK, not... oh, and the Weaver bug finishes off Kingslayer. They didn't get him. Dawnbreaker's kind of trying to chase, but I don't think he can catch up. Nope.
Okay.
He gets out of there. That's big for T1.
Yeah, he's their only core having a really nice game so far, Carl. So him living is very important. DM's gone back. He hasn't fully committed to this kill build. He's going back for the wards. You kind of have two options. It's like all in it and just say I'm going to max out the Gale and then level my ultimate at 6. Or you can start to max out the wards saying playing more for the farm, pressure tower game. And kind of surprised that he isn't going the kill build, given the way VP's been playing so far. But I can understand it. It's much more reliable to play Venomancer the other way.
Yeah, it doesn't want to maybe enter the mid game when they're taking towers without the wards leveled up. VP trying to get themselves some more urn charges. Went for a poke on a Whitemon, but he manages to get back to the safety of his tower. And they want to now start pressuring this tower, but... And you're against the Medusa, you're just feeding her free gold if you have like super low level wards. You definitely don't want to be using the level 1 wards.
Yeah, it's pretty much like all or nothing on the ward leveling for sure. Pig pole for Nightfall. The thing about Dawnbreaker as a carry that's so nice is you just leave her alone. You just let her do her thing, and every 2 minutes you've got this team fight backup ultimate that you can have.
Yep.
You can use for pickoffs too.
VP committing to this top lane, the 2 supports in the Veno, knowing that the Dawnbreaker, once that ultimate comes back up, can show up to this fight, although it is on cooldown currently. And if they can push 23 Savage out, it's like, or just get a kill, that'd be huge for them. And this looks like he's just going to be left alone, and nothing Whitemon can really do. I mean, the Weaver shows up. They want to try and turn this one around. The Void Spirit's going to be a little bit careful.
They've got Dawnbreaker.
Does have an Astral Step, and yep, there's the Dawnbreaker coming in with the Dissimulate damage as well. Nightfall gets the kill. They timed that aggression as the Dawnbreaker was coming back up, and Nightfall gets a second. Great. VP seem to have done their practice and prep for TI with some Dawnbreaker play.
Yeah, this is just, you and I, we both looked at each other funny when they picked Medusa on T1, because they had seen the 4 heroes from VP of like run at you. And that's exactly what you would expect in VP's draft.
Yep.
Medusa's just not equipped to deal with that just yet. The nerfs that came out back when Medusa was really broken was to her level 1 mana shield. And that just makes her more susceptible to exactly what you're seeing here.
Wow, they
He TP'd in here.
and just instantly gets gone on. Has to often. I mean, you often don't see that Stone Gaze level this early on, but good thing he did, or he'd be dead. He's just dead anyways. He's TP'd in. They're tipping him. They know he's just ruined his own game. And that is a 3K net worth Medusa. Struggling, but T1 may get some revenge up here. Can they bring down this Veno? It looks like help is on the way for VP. Comes a little bit too late, so Whitemon helps secure a kill for Zephyr as he'll pay the price for it.
This is before Bounty Hunter track, by the way. Like this is how fast they're playing without the motivation or the incentive, I guess you could say.
Level Janata.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just saw that. That's when you know the game's really good.
Yeah.
That's the value tip right there, spamming the voice lines while they kill him as well. Full mental damage and financial damage have been done. Not only is he dying, but he's also getting yoinked as he's dying. That feels so bad, man. Losing your lane to a bounty hunter. It doesn't happen very often, but Venomancer owns Medusa and laid pretty hard.
They just did a really good job pulling the wave back. It felt like from the start almost like the wave was closer to the Venos tower than the Medusas.
It was the fact that they did that aggressive move while 23 Savage was walking to lane, which made it so he was so low they couldn't stop that maneuver. So really just well planned out by VP.
I like this move. That's a big kill if they can get it, and they have. Nightfall goes down.
He understands. And that's really important to relieve that pressure on the top tower.
But
Cuckoo's now getting the business here.
going for the yoink, but has to worry about the totem. They're going to glimpse him back into a static swing. Now he gets a chance to steal some damage, but walks out. Echo Slam, Fissure, Cuckoo showing up and getting a couple of kills for his team. He dies, but he does take 2 down with him. Carl needs to try and keep himself alive. Turns around Laguna Blade. Carl needs to TP himself back to Pound, but he's just dead. The Venoman's ultimate making sure of it. GPK cleaning on up.
Yeah, he TP'd in for that fight on the Lina, so Carl had no way out.
Yeah. But
I don't know who that benefited. Genuinely. I think overall I'm probably happy if I'm T1 because you killed Nightfall earlier, right before that engagement bottom, and also Savage is getting that crucial time to himself that he was not getting any of prior to that.
it's costly. Like, they lose their mid and their offlaner, but it feels like the kind of sacrifice. Like, it was a 3 for 2 in the grand scheme of things, and space for Savage is just essential right now.
Yeah, we saw yesterday that VP was crushing OG with a similar draft and then overextended a few times. And I think T1 punishes that really well, like the way they play in general.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. They not only do that in general, but they have heroes like Medusa and Earthshaker, similar to last game, that if you do overextend, you will die.
Yeah. The heroes that are, in some ways, all about playing from behind. Like, you don't draft them to crush the early game. You'd like to, you know, obviously have a good early mid game, but
You'd probably automatically win.
Yeah.
If you have a good early game on these types of
yeah,
heroes.
we've seen Medusas go high ground at 20-25 minutes when the game goes well. And you get like 2 items and you're ready to go high ground with Aegis. But not one of those games. His DM has maxed out the wards now. He's got a hood. He's getting fairly tanky. This game's looking pretty solid. And they're going to finally get this. This top T1 tower took a while to actually bring down.
Yeah, T1 dedicated a pretty good amount of resources to keeping it alive. That's a really common staple for them. So what that tells me is if you're a team that plays much more for the late game, how important that tier 1 tower is. I mean, their name is T1. They're going to protect the T1 tower.
Makes sense. Go for the tier 2. You can have it. Tier 1, no siree.
Exactly.
Waimon on the high ground. He's caught aggressively, but Cuckoo blinks in. We'll finish off the Void Spirit.
Kingslayer was holding on to that ability, I think.
Wow.
And
Big kills.
lost him.
They may get more. They've got the Sentry for save. They see him.
This is T1 at their... This is bread and butter. This is exactly what they do.
Yeah, they were just waiting for Bound to get 6 and get track, and then like, okay, he's got track now, we can't give up any more kills. We got to kill them now. Before track, sure, you can kill us.
Yeah, they were kind of feeding randomly, like one by one, before the track. And when I say randomly, it was about objectives. They were making sure they were holding the crucial objectives, but it was kind of like dying one at a time. Now they're constantly sitting together as 3 or 4, like you said, against this bounty hunter track. And I like the instant change of pace that they've adjusted to.
They've got the 1K gold lead. This is T1, who yesterday did not win a game. They went 0-4, are holding their own and looking in an okay position against one of the hottest teams from yesterday.
If they bleed 2 or 3 kills, this will turn pretty quickly, is my only concern here. But so far, they are executing quite well.
Yeah, and if it's just a support, like throwing away his life for some info, like a kill like this on Whitemon, you're not too worried about. You don't want Cuckoo going down, and that's a big kill for the Shaker if he does get picked off with the Dawnbreaker coming on in. It looks bad for Cuckoo. This is the bleeding of kills you were talking about. Goes for the Echo Slam. Cuckoo! He says save! What are you doing, my friend? 4-mana Echo.
That's the price you pay for maxing Janata. I just want to hit him one more time.
Yeah.
Well,
still a worthwhile. It looked fun for Cuckoo, but
the thing is that these support kills, or I mean in this case an offlane kill, don't usually matter that much, but with the bounty hunter in the picture, it's definitely more like it's just so much more gold being injected into VP than it would be otherwise.
VP continue their aggression. They find a Weaver. Stonegaze gets committed, so now they can, continue playing aggressive without worry of that defensive spell, and they'll get that tier 1 mid tower, it looks like, as they continue to invade. They're leaving DM by himself while they look for more kills. They both went for the deny and neither got it. Carl's been caught by the Yule Scepter. The Remnant going to pull him back in, and he's tracked up as well. Carl going to look to turn and fight and gets the Void Spirit before he goes down. He's going to die to the Venomancer damage, but probably won't mind the fact that he brought down the Void Spirit with him. T1, whenever they get gone on, they know it's like, I'm dead, I'm going to do everything I can to bring as many heroes down with me as possible.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a good job of like standing their ground in that regard, but man, I have this isn't a pace of the game that T1 is wanting.
Yeah.
You know, like they're not choosing this. I think they're addressing it pretty well, but how many times do you have to kill VP before it stops? You know, that's where's the threshold?
Yeah. To me, it's kind of like a Medusa item timing where it maybe stops. Like, you need that Medusa to get farmed and come online. Like the Skadi timing, suddenly it's like, okay, I don't think VP are going to be doing that into a Medusa with Manta Skadi.
True. They've got no Disruptor ultimate just yet. Now they have it.
Yeah. DM's going to be a little bit careful, but a great Static Storm counterplay. They've got the Weaver, and that's the big hero to potentially find here. Dawnbreaker going to look to ulti on in. 23 Savage is going to be careful. Pops the Stone Gaze, trying to get himself out of there, but playing against Disruptor, sometimes you just can't escape. Goes for the TP out, but Nightfall is there, ready to stop his TP on out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That
Radiant structures are
this is what I was talking about. One kill is going to lead into another.
Yep.
Every person that dies makes it infinitely more likely for somebody else to die. And VP will get so much out of this. They've got the Spirit Vessel to cash in on the kills. They've got the Bounty Hunter track.
Yeah, I mean, 2.5k gold advantage in a 3-for-1. We're 17 minutes in. That is a crazy amount of gold to just suddenly swing. BK wants to get out of there, dodges the Earth Spike, so he'll be fine. As they do fissure up the Venomancer, but it doesn't look like they can follow it up with anything.
That was a really good defensive play by VP. I feel like T1, like, nothing they could have done better. It just feels like they should have gotten a kill there, you know, with the heroes they have. But VP disengaged really well. Going for a Halberd. Saw something similar out of the DK from last game. Or the best way to deal with Dusa is to just not.
Save doing a good job of just playing this vision game, getting pesky observer wards up, using his life just to scout heroes out. He does walk into a sentry ward, so a bit of caster curse, just trying to help T1 out of it, you know.
True.
As VP use that info to jump somebody else, they see the line and they're like, okay, 2 heroes top. Let's put White One on a cliff. I don't know if that was intentional or not. He's going for the TP out, but he gets brought back down and won't see himself surviving. Carl with the BKB. He got forced out, and Nightfall is chasing, looking for this, but doesn't have the ability to kill Alina.
So I thought he might have gone the Radiance just to like deal with the Lycan summons in some way, but he thinks based on what I'm seeing here, he thinks it's like the best build.
Okay.
Just universal on the Dawnbreaker carry. As we are, that is what we are seeing, guys. If you're just tuning into the game, you do see a #1 net worth Dawnbreaker. He did the same skill build yesterday, skips the talent at level 10 until level 16, takes all the damage talents. Scales pretty hard. The star swipe, is that what the ability is?
The bonus crit.
Oh, and star breaker.
Oh, jump Medusa. In trouble. That's going to be an easy kill. Immediately tip to follow it up. They kind of want White One. Have they got a glimpse? Doesn't look like it. On cooldown.
Long story short, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And even though they have a lot of stuns, and I was talking about how like kind of clunky Dawnbreaker can be, the new shard is pretty insane for carry Dawnbreaker. It makes it so you're magic immune during your Starbreaker, which makes him he's gonna be able to cast all the 3 swipes every single time.
Yep.
He should be able to hit Medusa every single time if he's on top of him. I don't see how you'd ever miss a Medusa with that spell.
Yep.
So, and that's a lot. That's a lot of damage. You crit if the Luminosity attack is prepped, and you get the bonus damage on the swipes. And with the Radiance, it is plus 60 damage on your right clicks. It's not like it's just for the Radiance burn.
Yep. And we're seeing, I think some of the comments we had was when they picked it yesterday, it's because they had this kind of semi-globalist strat with the Nature's Prophet as well. And this Necro that can just push down lanes with this backup. But they're just picking it here with no like obvious synergy for the Dawnbreaker ultimate.
Yeah, it's more so just like the low cooldown part of their team
Yeah.
that I think the Dawnbreaker works really well with. Just constant up-tempo run and gun play style, and you want your team to be in control if you as a carry want to play alone, right? Wow, GPK. I have to imagine that was some degree of foresight. Might have just been luck that he dissimulatted right as the fissure came in.
Nicely done. It seems like VPC Dawnbreaker is just like a better Spectre. It's kind of
a really strong laning Spectre.
Yeah.
You're obviously giving up some late game potential, but the difference is that the cooldown is 60 seconds less with your level 1 ultimate. The Haunt is 180 seconds. And then it's more of a defensive spell, I think the Dawnbreaker ultimate is.
Okay. Carl, oh my, even with the BKB being popped, he's being chased down here. He's trying to use the movement speed, gets the sun on 1 but not 2, save. Shurikens him down and
so much
elsewhere. Yeah, things are not looking pretty. They're going to use that mobility. The Dawnbreaker comes in with the ultimate, that bonus heal as well. Cuckoo, he's got no way out. That one not a track kill at least, but oh boy, things suddenly, for a while they were looking okay for T1 and now not the case again.
Is this the carry that might make VP have a significantly deeper run in the tournament? Like,
yeah,
we saw OG win TI off of IO carry. Like, just something no other team's done. I don't think anybody else has picked Dawnbreaker 1 position so far. And it's both games they were in, even though the game with OG got a bit rocky, they were pretty significantly ahead.
Yep.
Around like the 10 or the 15 to 20 minute mark.
Yeah. And it's a hero I feel like not just any team can pick up because it does seem to uniquely fit their play style.
It does, yeah.
Like I don't imagine a team like an EG can just be like, yeah, this will suit our TZ.
Yeah, I don't think it's an easily replicable because it's not like just the hero itself, right? The hero has to tie into like exactly what the rest of the game plan is. He's farmed so fast. Got a BKB almost. He only had I think he got the Radiance like 2 minutes ago. That was just the track kill on Carl, I think, that really accelerated that.
Uh-oh. Cuckoo doesn't have his BKB yet, and they've got a Static Storm waiting for him to dump on top with the track. They get bonus gold once again. Every kill just adding up here.
I don't think T1 can just draft their normal stuff against VP. Like, they saw the Bounty Hunter, and they picked Earthshaker Medusa. Like, they saw what VP planned to do in the game, and they still stuck to their guns on this is how we play Dota, this is our best comfort zone style, and it's just getting punished so hard.
Yeah, it feels like you gotta adapt your playstyle and be ready to fight. Like that's why I think, I mean, OG, they drew against them, but even the game VP won, they almost bounced back because they were ready to fight.
Yeah.
This will hasten the footfall.
But definitely VP, a team that can put any opponent on the back foot and force you to change their playstyle potentially.
Yeah, it's just like on a scale of 1 to 10 of like, you know, T1's always going to play this way to some extent. This is like a this is like a 9. They're like a very sit back kind of style. And you may say like, we're gearing up to like for you to run at us, but you have to have some sort of playmaking. Otherwise, VP can kind of just go wherever they want, is what I'm feeling. It's like, yes, you have the Earthshaker Echo Slam, but then what? It's like, what are you following it up with when Carl's spending the entire game getting ran at?
Yep.
Like this.
He does hold his BKB, but Save is there waiting behind the tower. It's just being an absolute nuisance, and now Dawnbreaker going to Solar Guardian on in. Help finish off the line. They've got the track on the Carl post BKB, so they've got the vision. Kingslayer waits for the BKB to wear off, glimpses him back. The track plus glimpse, that's another combo we haven't even talked about. That's an old school one. Teams used to do the Slaughters and the Bounty Hunter with Disruptor all the time, having the vision. But this fight has gone T1's way. They've managed to turn it into a 3-for-1 in their favor. VP getting a little bit too aggressive.
That's exactly what they did in the OG game, VP. They dove the enemy triangle, and T1, just like OG, is ready to respond.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what they got to do. The ball is in the court of VP, but it's on T1 to play some defense.
You can see there, it's been a bit of a rough time for 23 Savage. 1 and 5 for him. Carl's Lina game has been on point for the most part. He's hit level 20 and managed to scale pretty well. BKB Crystallis, so he's got the damage output now with the level 20 talent. You definitely have to respect his damage output in these fights, particularly during that BKB.
He could be the difference maker, because with the weight of the world on the Medusa's shoulders, I'd say it's going to be a bit tough.
Oh, they've found two of the Fissure. The Static Storm looking to turn this one around, but there is a BKB on Cuckoo. DM's tanky, but not tanky enough. They bring down the Veno.
That's a huge kill.
Not going to find any follow-up kills off of it, but they can now play pretty aggressive on the map with the Veno down.
He's like their dangler that sets up all the plays, so I think it's going to be tough for VP to find any openings. That was probably the best target that T1 could get, because he already had used ultimate earlier on on the Venomancer, so he wasn't able to like make them have to retreat because they lost half their HP or anything like that. They're able to establish themselves top lane and mid lane, pushing them out.
Looks like off the back of it, T1 just happy to play a bit more of the farm game. Medusa still has a bit of ways to come online. We'll take another look at this one here. Just nice find and utilizing that, the BKB Shaker. Not an item you often see as that kind of first major pickup after the blink, but it's paying off here.
Definitely has to. There's just way too much to worry about on the side of VP, and that was why I was also a bit surprised with the Radiance this game, because T1 definitely has to buy BKBs, and Radiance obviously countered by BKB as well.
Oh, Cuckoo blinks in with the Echo Slam. Carl behind is not going to get the LSA, the Force Staff over the Fissure, helping keep him alive, and Carl's going to just back off. He is so low in health here.
Nice glimpse.
Glimpse back into the Static Storm. Zephyr can't get out.
It's a consolation for T1 there, is that he saved to not get the track off.
Yeah. They're clawing their way back in this one, even though VP get that kill. It's only back down to a 4K gold lead, and it was like 8K plus before. Yeah, it was quite the drop-off.
Oddly enough, this is the exact narrative that we saw yesterday, being created by VP. Establish a massive lead, throw a couple times. They ended up closing that game out. Will they be able to do it again?
Oh, they're going to look to fight this one. Safe Force Up onto the cliff, and with the Dawnbreaker showing up, the Guardian helping keep him alive. 23 Savage just going to Stone Gaze and then kind of hold his ground here. Mantis out of this one, but he's getting low, losing his mana. And this Dawnbreaker is just doing too much freaking damage. He obliterates the Medusa, but the Void Spirit goes down in the process, and now Dawnbreaker, out of gas, is going to go down here. This Lina just shredding through them, gets the kill on the high ground on the Bounty who's stuck, and they want more. They want Kingslayer.
Where was DM?
Yeah, he wasn't anywhere to be seen. They needed something to address the Lina. I'm not sure DM would have been the answer, but Lina just cleaned up there.
They just brought the superior numbers on T1. I feel like they responded more quickly to the engagement occurring than VP. I don't know. DM must have like TV top to push it out or something. I imagine he would have connected. They had the tier 1 tower before that mid, so he would have been able to TP.
Do we have the fight recap? Whew, that Lina
That's
damage.
a lot. Look at the experience.
That's
Look at the experience. That's so much. 6,000.
Yeah, Shaker, Lina, and Lion, the big breadwinners for that experience. They get a ton of levels for it. As we see the fight once again happening here. It's just Carl on the side. And I imagine Nightfall's like, this fight's great. I'm killing this Dusa. I'm like still full health. And then suddenly Carl, with max fiery soul stacks, is just wailing away on him. At some point, they're going to have to prioritize Carl over 23 Savage.
Yeah, just the sheer amount of time it takes. Like, you're giving this Lina effectively Medusa's HP of time to kill you.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying when you conceptualize it like that. The axe from Veno might be a game changer. It's a lot of damage. What they did to Veno recently this year was they made his ultimate do less damage flat, but it does a percentage of damage of your HP. So if you see the scepter damage, it goes 4.5% of your max HP per second.
They're going to commit the Echo Slam for this one. DM surviving for now. Another totem hit's going to finish him off, and Dawnbreaker ultied into this one. Nightfall, he may just die. The Lina right-click damage is going to be too much for him. Oh no! VP have completely thrown away their lead here. They will get the kill on the Lina, but he had the Aegis. Carl's going to be coming back to life, and with 23 Savage throwing up, they're absolutely tearing apart. VP get demolished in this mid lane. What a comeback from T1.
If you told me T1's gonna win this game, this is exactly how it's gonna look. Like, you VP, lane dominating team, they get off to an early lead. T1, just the turtle masters
Radiant's middle
of all of
tower
Dota
is
right
under
now. I think
attack.
they're like the most signature team of this being their playstyle, and they have just allowed VP to overextend 1 or 2 times, and they have just slammed the door in the face of this bounty hunter lineup.
They want
Look at Zephyr. Look at his
DM,
PMA.
and they're going to get him. Yeah, he just... And Shaker Cuckoo's going to TP himself home. He should survive through this. Yep. Pops a Fairy Fire, I believe, just to be safe.
This might be the sloppiest performance I've seen from DM in a long time.
Radiant's top
I feel like he's
tower
just
is
not been where he needs to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like
Explain.
he had like a really powerful laning stage, and he's like the guy that he's the catalyst for his strategy. You know, he gets gone on because he's pressuring. They have the Disruptor ultimate to chase people, or the Glimpse to chase people, the Dawnbreaker ultimate to counter initiate, and that one death mid kind of snowballed into a bunch of map control stuff where he had to then go top, and then the fight happened at the triangle that he wasn't there for. It was a 4v5, and now he's dying again.
Yeah. It is, I mean, the death mid and the big fight there where Dawnbreaker, it is his job to get gone on, right? Like,
Yes.
in some sense. He needs his teammates there, but...
But I think he's at the point where, because of the earlier deaths and the loss of team fights, he's no longer at the threshold of being unkillable.
Okay. And we've seen several times, it takes a long time to bring him down. He is killable, but ideally, yeah, you need to utilize the fact he gets gone on and is so tanky to win a team fight.
Yeah, and if he's becoming easier and easier to chew through as Carl is chunking him now with
Yeah.
with the Lina.
Even Cuckoo, when he pops those totems, there's just a lot of right-click damage potential. Savi's getting some good intel here, skying him out, but it doesn't feel like VP any interest in taking fights at this stage anymore. We've got a gem on the Bounty Hunter, which feels more like a, I mean, not desperation, but it's like he wants to make sure that he can move around the map and know if there's sentries on him.
Yeah, these wards
They
for
smoked
Veno,
up.
they lose so much effectiveness when these Infus heroes
Save,
come into play.
finds Cuckoo. That'd be a nice find, but he has a BKB, so they know they can't commit too much on a Cuckoo. Further down, Carl's Lina gets an LSA follow-up. The Void Spirit could be in some trouble. Is the damage going to be there? It's going to be close. He gets it to Assimilate off. The Dawnbreaker, the Guardian perhaps saving his life there, and as a result, GPK is kept alive. Neither team losing anyone yet, but they do eventually bring down DM's Veno, but the big kill, the one on GPK, is the one that T1 don't get. They're chasing, they're looking for more, but the glimpse back keeps Carl away. Boy, that was close.
Yeah, it's just, you think of this Venomancer's impact in the game, right? It's a 9th pick Veno. It's like a very late in the draft. He's kind of meant to take over the play style of the game, like the pace. And what he offers as a hero is that he pops his spells and the opponent has to run away because they can't sustain. But now you've got Satanic on 23 Savage and on Carl. Both the cores, I'd say wisely choosing to go for Satanics against the Veno. It feels like he's just a non-factor at this point. And that feels real bad. When you have like a carry Dawnbreaker, it's kind of like an equally distributed weight of trying to carry the team when you have a hero like Dawnbreaker 1, right? She's not a traditional hard carry. In a 1v1 vacuum, he will be outcarried by a Medusa.
Yep. Well, we'll see T1 continue looking to press their advantage. They've got the 10k gold lead now, and with an Axe Weaver, they've got that save potential in a team fight, and VP's draft designed to kind of dominate the early game and snowball, and achieve that, but just didn't quite snowball hard enough. I don't know, what do snowballs mean? Rolling down a cliff. Stumped you. As we're going to see Dawnbreaker coming in once again. That's a good start to the fight for VP. They take out the Weaver as well as the Lion. Carl Forster has run away, and VP utilizing this bounty vision effectively.
I figured if I said anything positive for T1 there, exactly what happened. So
Yeah.
I just tried to say nothing, and then it still happened. They just caught him with the ward. Axe Scepter from Void Spirit against the supports. Very important.
It's one thing VP seem to still have going for them is this vision game. The Venom wards, the bounty.
Oh, absolutely. If they ever manage to get the jump, which hasn't happened in a while, up until that last couple pickoffs there, absolutely in their favor. They've got the track, they've got the glimpse, everything vision game favors them. But if they are just together on T1,
Dire's
then
bottom
vision
tower is under
matters
attack.
much less.
Yeah.
Dire's structures
Is there a
are
hope when you're? I
fortified.
mean, we're looking at Lina, Medusa late game, like 2 great range carries in late game. How do you see Dawnbreaker? I mean, obviously a new kind of carry that we don't see much. How do you see Dawnbreaker scaling going into the late game?
It seems like the Lina really screws him. Like, it seems like he's trying to just walk around in the fight BKB and he's dying to Carl. So from what I'm seeing, it seems like not so good for Dawnbreaker moving forward. You'd rather have a melee hero that if they want to kill you, that you could like hit them back, you know. Get your sustain from the luminosity procs going.
Well, they find the line, and now they're going to get the Weaver as well. VP going from one pick to the next, but here comes the rest of T1. They've lost 2, but they still want to force and take this fight. We'll see if it pays off. Safe playing around the Roshan pit, the fissure block keeping him safe, and 23 Savage has to be a little bit careful here. Gets pulled back in by the glimpse, and now this Medusa going to be ignored for now. They're going to see if they go for someone else. Not the case. VP, they've got numbers. They've got 5 versus 3, and T1 still want to hold their ground. They still want to fight. They're going to pop the Dawnbreaker ultimate to come out in. Cuckoo gets the stun as the Dawnbreaker arrives in.
He landed on the fissure.
Yeah, and then the Echo Slam going to come in as well. They tip Nightfall saying, sure, show up, come on in. You're invited to our party, a party where VP is going to lose this game, say T1.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I will say that I was doubtful of T1. I'm like, wow, they're 3v5 and they are sticking around willingly.
Is under attack.
But man, that's just such great awareness.
That's the second fight I've seen. The Dawnbreaker just solo Guardians in, instantly gets stunned and blowing up. That ultimate has the potential to backfire.
Yeah, you can't cancel it willingly, I don't think. Right? It's not like it's like a channel that only gets canceled by the opponent stunning you. I don't think you can like turn it off.
Yeah.
Once you've done it, you're committed. I don't know if he's able to BKB mid-flight. These are mechanics of a new hero. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I was telling you earlier, I've still yet to play the hero. I will embarrassingly admit that.
Yeah. I played it once as a support, so I did not have a BKB. But if oh wow, he sold everything. He had a mech and a force staff.
Wow, his game is...
He thinks they're in that desperate of a situation to buy a sheep. Okay.
I like the boldness of it.
I'm not scared, bro.
You know, odds are still heavily against him. They're down 20k gold, but it really says something about VP's mentality. Like, they see a condition, the win conditions, as we like to call them, and it involves this Scythe of Ice. But T1, I mean, what do you do? It's Medusa plus an Alina with an Aegis. They didn't even have to give the Aegis to Medusa.
Yeah, Carl HP compared to damage, he's much worse ratio. You'd rather give him the second life, I think.
They'll let this top lane go. They are wrapping around. Virtus.pro looking for that kind of gotcha play. They see 23 Savage. They ignore him. Instead, it's going to be Cuckoo who gets the jump. Blinks in, slams down 2, takes out the Void Spirit, and now the Dawnbreaker showing up. It's going to be a 2-man Earth Spike. They tip knife. Deja vu. This Dawnbreaker just ulting into the worst possible situation several times around. And T1 have gotten their first win, Brian.
Yeah, in T1 fashion. I'm glad to see it, you know. We talked about a few of the teams that haven't done so hot so far that maybe they have to adjust a little bit. I was doubtful that their draft would just be a bit too slow, but even despite the part of the game that they were losing, they were just getting a few kills here and there, and it was enough to slow down the pace of VP to a point that Carl could get online, that 23 Savage, even though he's still just sitting underneath his buildings, he's not dying while underneath his buildings. And I'd give props to Cuckoo. I think he had to do a lot that game with very little time and space to farm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hats off to T1. Congratulations on their first win.
It felt like as soon as he got that BKB, things kind of turned. Kuka
Yeah.
could just play so aggressive when he didn't just die when he initiated.
There's really no damage on the side of VP. Like, the Dawnbreaker's first spell still hits you, but, like, when you saw them in BKB on the side of T1, they're just walking around doing whatever they want. On the other hand, you saw Nightfall in BKB, and he was just dying to Carl.
Yeah. Well, T1, they got to feel pretty good about themselves. Not just their first win of TI10, but their first win against one of the top teams so far in their group, Virtus.pro. See if they can bounce back their play style. Perhaps, meeting a bit of finding a clash here. Versing the team that likes to sit back, soak up that pressure. T1 managed to get that comeback in game 1. We'll see if it happens in game 2. We'll be headed that way. Stick around. Hey everybody, and welcome back. We've got ourselves at game number 2, VPT1. I don't know, a series some people may have thought would be one-sided. Not the case.
One-sided in favor of T1.
Exactly.
That's what you were saying the whole
Yes. I know I had some SEA fans tweet me like, can you cast more SEA games? The teams always win when I cast, so.
time. Is that actually true?
A lot of yes, it is. It is true. I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie. It seems to happen a lot. I cast all the SA qualifiers and the SEA team always won, so.
Yeah,
know.
they're Goku, and you're the people feeding him energy for the Spirit Bomb.
T1's turn to pick.
You think you missed the joke there?
Shaker.
The SEA qualifiers was always SEA versus SEA teams.
Oh.
It was a terrible joke, but yes. I'm sorry.
You know-
I had to explain it, which made it even worse.
No,
I'm like,
no, no.
I'm like,
you
why
know,
am I explaining
the thing
this?
about this is, like, if somebody like myself who makes
10
a
seconds
large
remaining.
amount of terrible jokes, I should catch on to other people making terrible jokes.
Yeah.
5
You'd think
seconds
I'd be more
remaining.
aware about that. But nonetheless, here we are, game 2. Terrible jokes aside, we got ourselves some good Dota.
Yeah.
VP.
Speaking of two teams who are not terrible jokes.
Yes, exactly. First pick Urshiger going the other way. So they respect the pick, despite the fact that they were winning pretty handedly against it prior to the 25-minute mark. And what the hell is that hero
Nice.
bottom left?
That's T1. It was actually getting first banned against them in some of their games.
Wait, really?
They love their CM. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know if they picked it yet. Yeah, there's a
10
lot of games, of
seconds
course, and we're not going to
remaining.
remember every single draft and have all that info all the time. But yeah, we're going to see T1 playing their famous Crystal Maiden.
Is that that doesn't seem like a hero that players can have as like a signature.
Virtus.pro's
It doesn't
Obvious
impact the
ban.
game in like a big way, you don't feel?
It's just like not like a super
T1's
individually high skill
turn to
cap
ban.
hero, you know? You don't go like, man, that person, they're a Crystal Maiden player. How many times have you said that? You know, like you say
Yeah,
like they're
I-
Invoker players, they're Lina players, you know, but they're Crystal Maiden players.
I agree.
It's just interesting.
There's some heroes
10
where,
seconds
mostly
remaining.
supports, where it doesn't feel like they're players who are like, who is the,
5
the most
seconds
famous
remaining.
or the best CM player out there. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, she doesn't really represent like a specific game plan, so it's kind of interesting to have like a hero of that description be a signature. But
Yeah.
I believe you nonetheless. I just hadn't seen it. If it's getting banned a lot, that's probably why I haven't seen it. I'm down. They've buffed CM's level 1 a lot in the recent past. They've made her mana costs much more manageable. They buffed both of her spells. I think her Crystal Nova is now at 110. It was at like 140 for a while. Level 1.
Okay.
And then they also made the Frostbite, I think, like 15 or 20 mana less, level 1.
That's always,
T1's
to me, was
turn
CM's
to
biggest
ban.
weakness was the mana pool. Like, you often would skip your ultimate because you're just like, you definitely wouldn't level it up. Like, you hit you're staying on level 1 ultimate because you don't have the mana pool to use spells.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is her level 2 power spike is way better. A lot
With
in the
the
past,
double
it
nuke,
was
yeah.
like debatable whether or not you'd go like 101 or
10
go for the both
seconds
active
remaining.
spells, but now you can actually have the mana to cast them.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, we'll get our first taste, at least for us, on this stream and in the games we've cast, of a Crystal Maiden. What kind of heroes do you feel like you want to pair with the CM? In lane or just in the game as a whole?
Yeah, I'm thinking of like how to describe them. I wouldn't say like any specific heroes come to mind, but you don't want heroes that need to be saved. So you want like independent guys, and then you want heroes that can scout for you. You want heroes that like run in. So I think like Trees as a support is decent with this, but
T1's
like
turn to
CM
pick.
doesn't usually start the gank. You know, she's like somebody who you're gonna stun with like a Void Spirit, and then she's gonna Frostbite after you stun. So I would like either probably Ember or Void Spirit for T1. Puck would have worked as well, but that's obviously banned out.
10 seconds remaining.
Just like whatever hero's going to go first to allow this Crystal Maiden to Frostbite the Storm, because I
5
don't think she's
seconds
going to be able to
remaining.
just walk in and do that.
VP
Virtus
targeting
Pro's
Carl
turn.
with all their bans. Lina, Quap, Puck, heroes we've seen him play. Maybe I don't know if I've seen him play the Quap myself, but definitely the Puck in the Lina last game. As far as the TI-10 goes, and T1 get Cuckoo his Doom. I assume it's going to be him. Obviously, some slight flex potential, but very unlikely.
10 seconds
Yeah, I didn't
remaining.
expect Doom to see as much play at TI as he has, but we saw
5 seconds
VG
remaining.
do well with it earlier. We see
Virtus.pro's turn.
mostly SEA in China, I
Silencer.
think, picking Doom. I don't think I've seen any other regions pick it.
And this is a hero we've started to see more and more play off the Silencer. EG were using it effectively, and just a hero that is great as kind of a counterplay, but also when you jump like as a Storm, having a global silence
10
to back
seconds
you up can be
remaining.
really nice as well.
Yeah, Storm's one of the best because you basically
5
allow him to not go
seconds
BKB
remaining.
for a little while. Like in this game, he would have 100% had to go BKB pretty early against the CM tree. If he ever gets rooted, he just dies. But you're making it so he doesn't need BKB because they can't cast any spells when he jumps in. And Silencer's only issue is that global can be a little awkward to use, but I think this game it's pretty obvious. You have like Earthshaker Echo or Fissure or Storm Sphere Ball Lightning in, and then you're just going to pop global aggressively. You almost always want it to be aggressive globals, right? You don't want to be like, oh, we got initiated onto, let's use global to stop them. That's often how you don't want to do it, but in this game, they've definitely set themselves up to be aggressive VP. But I'm really liking T1's draft just because these three heroes are not too common. I've seen some Tree and a little bit of Doom as well, but this looks like a very unique draft.
Yeah. T1 bringing some of their own flavor here to the group stage at least. May probably want to
T1's turn to
test the
pick.
waters. You know, it's the group stage. You play a lot of games. Obviously, they still want to get to the upper bracket, so by no means is this just experimental. This is something they believe can get them some wins. As VP pick one of the most picked heroes so far of the tournament, Snapfire. At least at the end of day one, it was sitting in second as far as most picked.
Yeah, you and I were both like, what?
Yeah.
10
Well,
seconds
it's not
remaining.
like a game breaker. You know, you don't think like Earthshaker's a
5
game
seconds
breaker.
remaining.
You know, like if you see Earthshaker a lot, you'll always remember there was a lot of Earthshaker in the games. But Snapfire kind of flies under the radar a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah. It was like when I saw it second, I was like, yeah, I guess I did see Snapfire like you know, in like at least half of our games yesterday, I think. But
Virtus.pro's turn
it,
to bat.
yeah, it didn't stand out and it wasn't that super memorable.
This is such a T1 draft.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah, Spectre CM, it's always been kind of nice. You have like 2 spammable spells. Spectre generally lacks mana regen. People have been going for the Falcon Blade a lot.
10 seconds
But
remaining.
the CM aura, quite nice for Spectre.
On the other side, this feels like a very
5
different
seconds
VP
remaining.
draft. 4 totally different heroes, but more than anything, just a totally different style and pace that they're going to be playing at.
Yeah, it looks like Core Shaker. I would imagine it's 5 Silencer, 4 Snapfire. Interesting, to say the least. They don't do any like building damage. They don't have like They don't have Roche potential. I guess Snapfire is like okay because the little Shredder does minus armor, but
That's kind of both sides, though, at least right now, right?
yeah, but like with T1, it's like that's their lineup always.
Yeah. With VP, that is a bit
Turn to
unusual.
ban.
Yeah, it's just that T1's always trying to just keep their buildings alive, which Tree fits the narrative perfectly, and then eventually outcarry you, which Doom Spectre. That's why I said it's such a T1 draft. Like that's exactly what those heroes want to do.
Yep.
But then on the other hand, like
Virtus.pro's
okay, so
turn to
VP
ban.
clearly not going to be content with just trading farm, so they got to get a lot of kills. But you also want to like minimize how many kills it takes to continue throughout the game to get to your next step. So I'm leaning towards like Terrorblade for
10
VP.
seconds remaining.
That is like by far the best hero that I can tell right now. I'd be really surprised if T1 leaves it alive. Luna was a good option as well. It turns a lot of one team fights into objectives.
Yep.
Maybe Troll. Nah, I don't love Troll nearly as much, but just thinking of these heroes that
10 seconds remaining.
will quickly come online to take buildings in Roche.
5 seconds remaining.
Do you feel like they need to address or try counter the Spectre at all, or it's better just to focus on their own game plan as you're kind of describing?
The funny thing is, I feel like the way to deal with Spectre is to just buy a
Virtus.pro's
Silver
turn
Edge.
to pick.
Yep.
So it's like eventually, because a lot of
Any
carries
carry,
now,
yeah.
can pretty much buy that.
T1's
Yeah, I really like TP
turn
here.
to pick.
Sven,
Man
okay,
stands
that hero
ready.
buys Silver Edge. I'm not a huge fan of Sven versus Doom though. You are quite the prime Doom target.
Yep. Oh, that is a good point, and definitely some things that can kind of annoy you and kite you. If Treant's patient, you
10
can wait for your
seconds remaining.
BKB before he pops the overgrowth. So not necessarily
5 seconds
the
remaining.
easiest Sven game. You can get kited a lot, but we kind of saw in one of the Beast Coast games, you know, you have this Sven where it feels like all the attention's on him, and then suddenly a hero like Storm can be the one, you know, having a great time in these team fights.
Yeah. Right now, T1's lacking the setup hero. I'm liking Invoker a lot. Quaswex Invoker, I think, would own these strength side laners, the Sin and the Shaker.
Let's see if that's where Carl wants to go. They actually banned kind of offlaners, so VP
it's
recognizing
mid-Doom?
that. Yeah, T1 have run mid Doom in the past, but more recent, I feel like I've only seen Cuckoo play it recently. We saw it yesterday for one thing, but
I
T1.
guess I didn't even consider that, but yeah, with the bans.
Ooh,
Choose your hero.
bit of VP flair. That was a VP pick yesterday.
I thought about Necrophos, but I thought they would pick like a stun because their cores right now are Doom and Spectre. But
Yeah.
this is a whole lot of no stuns coming out from the T1 cores. It is an offlane Necro, so that means they're just all in on the laning phase. Generally speaking, Carl, when he goes mid lane Doom, he'll like rush a hood. Like a lot of Dooms will go Midas, but he'll rush a hood so that it's like more of a allows him to be aggressive on the map itemization idea rather than looking to just be the hard carry for the team. Oddly enough, the mid lane Doom will play less greedy than the off lane Doom.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is so odd. Like the T1 draft, if they fall behind it all,
That's the T1 game plan. So they do fall behind, Brian.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Necro's
What
not like a
happened?
fall behind hero.
Okay.
Like Necro's a consistently ramp up your power level to the point where you can pop Ghost Shroud and be unkillable at any stage. He needs a lot of items. That was why I was kind of concerned about Necro. He needs like Lotus Orb and like a hood, probably like a 1 HP item on top of both of those.
Yep.
So if he gets off, I think Cuckoo's game is going to heavily determine who wins here.
Okay.
He last picks his hero a lot, by the way. I don't know
Yeah.
how you go about that dynamic in a team setting,
And
but he
he's-
is drafting and he picks his
We were
hero
talking
last.
yesterday. I actually forgot Cuckoo's probably other than S4, one of the only other captains who's a core player.
Yeah. I guess offlane, if I had to choose a core role, would probably be the most likely.
Yeah. But something he does, something Fnatic do a bit, but I think T1 do even more. Yeah, is this last pick of the offlane. Saving that last pick for himself. And he feels like Necro is the hero for this game.
I
So
respect it, man. You know, you have some self-confidence. You say, I'm going to take over these games. I think Nightstalker kind of fell out of favor. They had picked out the first 2 games they played this tournament and lost both. But seems like these high-pressure
Prepare for
ranged
battle.
heroes like Veno and Necro have a place in this meta. But you don't have too much wiggle room with them. You know, we saw what happened at DM last game. He was like super powerful, controlling the pace of the game, had like 1 or 2 slip-ups, and then felt like T1 could just ignore him.
我不理解，我不理解。
What is Dove saying there, do you know?
no.
I don't either, I was asking you. So.
I like this part because we honestly we can just shut up for 30 seconds until they're
Done
done.
with the voice lines?
yeah.
You gotta get it out of your system.
Yeah. It's always when they're running out to lanes that everyone everyone spams all of this and then they go and cool down for a bit.
That's true, I actually forget they have cooldowns.
Yeah.
So 60 seconds for all chat and 30 seconds for ally chat.
So T1 lose their ward. That feels like some pre-game, you know, an analyst ward finding, and then they double back, come back in. They want the kill on save, and they're gonna get it. They tip him. Cuckoo, he's the captain. He last picks his hero. He steals first blood. This man making sure his game goes well.
This man's a Chad. Very alpha.
Yeah.
As he also leveled Cookie on Snapfire. That's definitely not the ability
Oh,
you
yeah.
want.
That's maybe why they were tipping him as well, because you know it wasn't obviously gives up first blood, but trying to save himself with a cookie. And Yeah.
Looks like they're trying to get a tri-lane kill bottom. They have a very scary lane. Sven stun, Cookie. I guess if they want to go for a kill, Cookie's fine.
They're scouted though. There's a lane ward there,
Yeah.
so not sure I see this working.
Earthshaker blocked for himself top, so he doesn't necessarily need help with first creep wave. So they still might. Necro is very weak level 1, very susceptible to getting full to 0. But Nightfall had to use stun to protect himself. Save did not walk through lane, considering maybe there is a lane ward. That's smart if that is in his thought process.
But he hasn't shown top, but a nice cookie on a 2 heroes. Can Cuckoo get out of this? The body blocks are there, and Save will finish him off. The return kill attempted by Zephyr is unsuccessful, and it's going to be potentially a second kill. Save
That's
gets
big.
the double. Nicely done.
And meanwhile, top lane, DM's doing just fine. He's got 3 CS.
Okay.
Spectre CM, pretty passive lane. Yeah, they'll like harass you down a bit, but you're not gonna get zoned out of XP range against a CM plus Spectre.
It's crazy how the ward being in lane, like if it was just over those trees and saw the snap coming in, it's just a totally different outcome there probably. It's such a small little detail. As we'll see DM probably going to struggle up top. Like, yeah, he's got a few CS so far, but playing a 1v2. Yeah, here we go. It's going to be a kill. That's the level 2 timing on the CM, I believe. You mentioned it, Brian. You get the double nuke now. The CM level 2 is just that much stronger.
Top tower is under attack.
That's what I'm here for, I think. I'm predicting all these level 2 timings.
Speaking of level 2 timings, it's
They're
level
all
2 on the
level 2.
Snapfire, yeah.
At everybody. Kingslayer, Save, and Nightfall were all level 2 there.
Carl, GPK can't go for the rune because of the Scorched Earth, I guess.
The Harpy creep. He got his bottle delivered, so he has more mana to work with.
Okay. He's, and he saves the water rune. Carl's waiting to see which way GPK goes. He's not going for a water rune because he knows GPK will then go for the other. So Carl's like, I'm going to keep you honest. I'm going to force you to stay here. Save makes a nice rotation. He's now been in like 4 kills. As Carl will head top, which means GPK probably gets to head bottom, but maybe Carl gets both. Yeah. GPK doesn't want to miss any CS, so Carl, I believe, gets a double rune here.
Yeah, he is losing a bit out in the level department because there's 6 denies coming out from GPK.
Yep.
But he's going for it.
And I think GPK is just going to accept his fate here. He's trying to get the return kill. Carl has bottle
Very
charges. Yep, and has a water rune to go for maybe. Oh, he steals a bounty rune. This is so good from Carl. Well, speaking of Chads on T1, that's some Chad-like mid-play.
Yeah, that was sick. He knew his limits perfectly there.
And
For the people who haven't watched
gets
Dota
the
in a
bottle
while,
refill.
Doom used to have 0 base armor. This hero used to be quite susceptible to that early tower.
Is
dive
GPK
and
dead
stuff.
again?
Yes.
No.
No, he's fine.
Oh,
He's fine.
we're gonna find out. He's got Scorched Earth. He might just be dead here.
He's fine.
They're tipping him. They know he's dead. He just TP'd in and died a second time.
I've just got the inner narrative of GPK right now. I'm fine.
He sees a CN there. It's like, okay, it's a CN. It's just a CM, right? I don't remember what this hero does, but it's a weak hero, right?
I don't remember what this hero does. That's that happens a lot in Dota.
Or you just remember the hero doing like half as much damage or something.
After it's killed you, you're like,
Yeah.
oh yes, that's
That's-
what that hero does.
Radiant's middle
This
tower
CM has
is
looked
under attack.
solid for T1.
Yeah, no doubt she's super powerful in the early game, as he has not taken a skill in his passive, and I think that's the buffs coming into play.
Yep.
We see they removed 15 mana on Frostbite level 1 and 15 mana on Crystal Nova level
Okay.
1. And he barely had enough mana to get that kill in the mid lane.
Yeah.
I have to imagine,
Dyer's structures are fortified.
He's cast enough spells where in the past that he wouldn't have had enough.
And T1, we talk about them being a team that often comes back. They're playing the laning stage game. They have managed to crush several of these lanes and continue to play aggressive down bottom, which has been their undoing before and maybe their undoing again. Nightfall's
7 stick
low.
charges.
Kind of baits this one a bit. Cuckoo pushes his hero to the limit, gets another death pulse off, but he's still going to go down to saves right
Radiant's
clicks.
bottom tower is under attack.
He did get zoned entirely on the Sven there, so it's not
Yeah.
all for naught.
Sven not CSing amazingly well. Okay. It's crazy how getting that Harpy creep mid made such a big difference on the lane.
Yeah, it's one of the most BS parts of Doom, I think, just in general. Like, no matter what lane you're playing, whatever jungle creeps you get can drastically impact if you win or not. But hey, I can be a gambling man myself sometimes. I'm down for a little bit of rolling of the dice. Nightfall. Not too unhappy with what's happened bottom, because he got the early kills, or he's been a part of a lot of kills, I guess you could say. He's 0-0-5, Steve Nash of the carry position. He's gonna destroy his own sentry that was blocking the hard camp, and meanwhile tanking a Doom.
First Doom of the game. It's not going to go the way of the Storm, so I imagine GPK's like, thank you, can I deny you? No. Carl does too much right-click damage.
It's like an extra Devour charge there. 290 gold. That was actually a 3x kill streak, so he gets a little bit of extra golden XP for that.
I like how Doom has, speaking of gambling, has the voice line for it.
This is perfect.
Fitting. On brand for him. And one area we haven't talked too much about, Spectre. I mean, that's the hard carry. That's the T1 game plan usually is pick 23 Savage saying that's going to scale late. Having a perfectly decent laning stage.
Yeah, the funny thing about that gambling line by Doom is I think that had to do with level death. Like, I think that's...
Yep.
Like, he's saying he, like, gambled on what level you are, and he lost. So, I'd have to look into that, but it seems like a very antiquated voice line.
Level death was back in.
Technically it is on the shard, yeah.
Here we go. Big fight breaking down the bottom lane as GPK looks to make his first move. Nightfall again getting pressure, but he's going to look to turn and fight. Dies in the process, and Cuckoo with the Ghost Shroud keeps himself alive. GPK cannot afford to die here. He's been frostbitten, and Whitemon is just controlling everybody. They want the third kill. They lose 23 Savage to get this fight to go their way, but it's well worth it for T1. They'll be more than happy with the outcome. And they may get a fourth kill. Save, trying to get the hell out of here. I don't know if Carl wants to dive a tier 2 tower. In fact, he's going to worry about Nightfall's TP in. This would be a huge kill if they can get it, but they're not going to, as Carl smartly TPs himself out of there.
Yeah, I said that he usually goes for the hood on Doom so that he can be really aggressive. He was just cutting behind tier 1 tower, forcing reactions such that his Necro can get the tower with a Midas. He's got a Midas on the Doom. So super greedy.
Not feeling he's needed. I mean, he hasn't needed the hood.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think that. I feel like he's being able to be super aggressive, like he has the non-greedy item, but he has the greedy item. So the only problem with this Midas is that it might, if he dies sometime in the next like minute or two, that's because he bought a Midas, right?
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't have died if he had just bought some tank ability item. But if he gets away with this greed, it'll pay off massively over the course of like the next 10 to 15 minutes. But yeah, they're already up by 2K.
I mean, that 2K is the Doom. He's 2K net worth ahead of the Shaker, who's the most farmed hero. Carl is monstrous. And that's the thing.
Net worth,
you mentioned, yeah, it's like you say if he dies because he has Midas, but it's like you remove that Midas, his net worth is the same as VP's.
True.
We'll see if they can get another kill down bottom. They've got the Reaper's Sight to fall the Frostbite. The damage is not enough. Okara was waiting to see if he came in, but he did the full long distance ball lightning.
That's what to say. There are some Storms that would have died there because they like try to min-max and not spend all of their mana, but he was fully aware that they were all there, or at least committing more heroes to scare him away. So I'm glad he didn't have to die there for his own cockiness or arrogance.
Yeah.
But, man, that Zephyr kill just feels like it doesn't even matter in the grand scheme of things.
No.
GP is kind of just getting bullied.
Cuckoo, a solo kill here could matter, but I think he understands the limit of his heroes. And it's top lane where Virtus.pro making their real big move here. Got to worry about Spectre.
Okay.
Can they burst him down? The Cookie in with DEM, the nice two-man fish, but here comes Cuckoo, and they're going to turn this one around. DEM tries to TP up, but nope. CM has the Frostbite.
Just
CM chasing for more, yeah.
Whitemon's owning.
Yeah, CM has been super impactful.
He's going to live out his glory days until he gets two-shotted by a Sven.
Yeah. This is
your moment
before
to be
that, yeah. I'd say same for Snapfire. Save has been very impactful in this laning stage. Perhaps the one glimmer of hope for VP at times.
Yeah, but feeding that Doom kill when he had a killing spree really negates a lot of his early game impact, I think, from Save. Not to say he was like playing bad. But you're suddenly you just like injected 400 gold into a Doombringer, who you're seeing that kind of pay back exponentially because he got that Midas just a bit earlier, and now that Midas is getting an extra couple usages out of it. And now he's sitting at 6,300 net worth at 10.5 minutes. That might be the most I've ever seen this tournament.
This is one where, yeah, we get some of those stat records and see some new numbers being broken from Carl here.
Yeah, that's like 600 GPM, and the game's like barely started the farming portion of it.
All right. We'll maybe update you guys later about some of that, but right now, T1 sitting pretty. It's 9 kills to 8, but a 2k gold lead and top 3 cores on their side. Although Sven is not far behind, finally getting some stacks to farm.
What are you doing here, Save? I don't think he thought Zephyr was here. I think he could just like cut this wave and then TP out.
Yeah.
And instead, kind of just giving another Midas usage to the Necro, who doesn't have a Midas, but you know what I mean. Okay.
Carl is just continuing to speed up. 7k plus now. Continues to accelerate. Has a BKB queued up. And he's recognizing that bottom lane is maybe a little bit dangerous.
This isn't at like the expense of his teammates either. The next 2 net worths are his other 2 cores.
And I mean, more than that, he's a mid. Look, often if you're an offlane team, it's like, okay, leave some farm for the others, but you know, as a mid, you don't really have to share much.
Yeah, but all 3 of their cores are very farm heavy. None of them really do anything else.
Yeah.
None of them are like gankers or something.
They want this CM, but the Doom is there ready, Carl! He baited it perfectly. Oh, they read Virtus.pro like a book.
Are T1 Virtus.pro's kryptonite? Because like they're always trying to do something, right? Like VP always wants to try to make a play happen. And does T1 ever actually make plays?
Was that on a play? I mean, it was a reaction.
What I'm
to a
saying
play,
is they always bait you to make plays onto them, right? Like even just top lane was them TPing in response.
And here's
to
another situation. They kind of bait them in here. The CM freezing field gets cancelled by a global silence, but T1 were ready for this aggression and are looking to counter it. This time around, though, it doesn't go the way they were hoping for. The pig pole, Carl trying to use that to get out of there. Storm using a lot of mana to bowl on in. It's going to be a little bit careful. The overgrowth is there, going to catch up too, but T1 maybe pushing their luck a little bit here, but with numbers now showing up, 23 Savages back in this one, and GPK, he's low on mana. The Sven getting very low himself. He's going to die to the Spectral Dagger. GPK has to get out of here. Luckily dodges the stomp. As the chase is on. The chase is too far. Carl, illusion dodge?
Illusion dodge!
Yeah!
You understand, Zephyr. You understand, my friend.
And
that's rubbing salt in the wound to recite the 5 position. They don't.
That's the
but even that
psychological damage.
That play started with VP doing something.
Oh yeah.
All these plays are T1 counterplaying.
And it feels like Whitemon is always bottom lane. He was the bait. At top lane, he was the one sitting behind the bait. So he is having a hell of a time.
They take turns. You know, the roles and jobs on the team are ever changing.
Yep. Everyone gets to play fishy bait every now and then. So they're hunting for some bigger prey here. The Virtus.pro polar bears.
I'm just trying to remember if T1's initiated an engagement a single time this game.
Not really. Not like a big team. I mean, they don't. Who's their initiator? They just don't plan to have one.
The
really,
one
right?
time they started a play was when they were diving Nightfall bottom, and that was when they fed like 2 heroes. So I think they've learned that that's just not up their wheelhouse.
Yeah. That one was not bad, right? That was when they killed 3, right, and lost Spectre, the tier 1 bottom. Maybe we're thinking of different ones.
Yeah, I think we're thinking of different ones.
Yeah, there was one where they died bottom tier 1 and Spectre died, but they got some good kills here. This is VP once again. They're the ones looking to make plays. They'll kill 23 Savage. It always costs them a price, though. Never does it feel like VP are getting a clean kill and getting out.
Still good for VP,
yes.
I think, all considering the fact that they're down by 3k.
This is one they don't want to lose, and VP Nightfall nicely gets out of there. Spidey sense was tingling.
The thing is, when they make that play mid on VP, their goal is, like, we're making space.
Yeah.
And Sven spent the entire time that they got that kill running away from this threat of a smoke game. It's like, it's really good that he avoided it, But T1's doing a great job of just making him spend time running away rather than hitting creeps. And on a hero like Sven, that's so important that he optimizes efficiency. I'm just concerned that we're going to see like a BKB Shiva's Doom, and the Sven's like not even going to have an attack speed item by that point. You know, you obviously have the Blink BKB coming out. He's got the Centaur Stomp already prepared.
Fall in. Immediate global silence. Blink Echo. Have they got the damage here? They do. They commit everything. Then the Overgrowth comes in. The counterplay is there with the Spectre Horn. Can T1 turn this around? It looks like they might be able to get some kills. GPK barely balls to the higher ground as CM's freezing field absolutely destroys them here. It's going to get 2 kills in return. Just for a support and an offlaner. Good for T1. Not maybe as many counter kills as they were hoping for with the Storm narrowly escaping. But yeah, you can see there. Whew, that's CM damage.
Yeah, it's like you see the Necro go down and you're like, oh, it did work. And then they just like lose 2 heroes in response. Yeah. And they've now expended global. T1's the ones controlling the map. Yep. They've got Doom available again. They didn't even have it for that fight. Somehow that's went from 3K to 5K in favor of T1, even though they killed the core.
It feels like, yeah, T1 are just ready for every bit of aggressive play from VP. And even though, yeah, VP commit enough that they get that core kill on the Necro, it never ends well for VP.
Yeah, and he's got the early Ags. We see this is like the new meta build for Spectre.
He's always going to be ready to fight now. Let's be a little careful. There's a Radiant Ward on him. He doesn't know that. There's a bit of a move coming his way. Yeah. 23 Savage. The camp respawns, but he's like, I'll leave that till later. Oh no, yeah. He sees a creep wave, though. He's alone. Is he going to go for it?
Does he
He's
have
thinking about it.
Does he have the
He's
restraint?
thinking about it.
Oh my God, the restraint on this man. That's when you know he's ready to be a TI level character.
Yeah. Him and Nightfall both. We saw Nightfall like teeping away right before the Doom came up to catch him too, but I may have just jinxed him. Nightfall, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nightfall. I should have said nothing.
Zephyr understands the mind games. You tell him to keep PMA, and then you toxic tip him. So you're like...
Yeah, is your voice line not inherently by itself a bit ironic?
Yeah, it is. And he's embracing it, and I respect that. He understands. It's only for the classiest of irony. 23 Savage got the Treant behind him, Zephyr, making sure they're just always ready.
VP want to take this fight, though. They don't have the Sven, but they feel like they've got the numbers. Blink, Echo followed up by a Global. They're trying to bring down 23 Savage. It looks like they'll get him. Nothing Treant can do. Yeah, exactly. Can they get out of this one alive? Overgrowth on the Shaker. Meanwhile, Doom, Carl, he wants bigger fish than Kingslayer. He lets the Silencer go as he goes looking for GPK, but the Invis room means he gets out of there.
That's always been my dream as a support, is to just be such a non-threat that you just get ignored and then you get to TP out. And Doom didn't end up finding anybody.
Yeah.
Storm managed to get far enough away.
So.
Still a 2-for-1 though. Wait, when did Sven die?
No, Sven that was ages ago.
Wait, what? Was the Sven still dead from Reapers?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like I couldn't remember when he died, so I must have been over a minute ago. Man, that feels so bad. My GPM is all I think when I'm dead on the sideline.
Well, VP, they're thinking, my GPK, can you turn this game around for us, please? He's
how's he gonna do that? Though?
0, 4, and 5. He's having a rough time. That mid lane was just miserable for him.
Yeah, that Harpy.
Oh, he's trying to make that play happen mid, but needs to be careful. Out of mana, he's on the run. The Fissure are going to help get him out of there, but now that means DM's the one perhaps in a little bit of trouble. Does have a blink. Gets out of there and the cookie as well, so. Okay, 23 Savage. He's in, he's back out, he's changing his mind. Just getting vision for his team, but they decide not to overkill. They don't want to pull the VP. They don't want to dive too hard and throw the game away as we saw a little bit last game.
Yeah, honestly, as long as they make VP make the plays, I don't think this T1 lineup can falter.
No.
Their lineup is just so good at not allowing you to...
Oh! Reads him like a book. He doesn't know he hit him. He doesn't actually know.
Honestly, the damage is done, though.
Yeah.
Nightfall is pinned on a spot of the map he can't farm. He doesn't feel safe in his own triangle. So, one of Carl's friends, maybe his mom who's watching, I'm sure she is going to tell him that he hit that stun. And he's going to feel really good
His
about it.
coach.
Nah. It's his mom.
Okay.
Coach is like, yep. He doesn't need emotional support from his coach.
Big shout out to all the players' families who are watching, tuning in. I'm sure some are watching. There's probably family members, brothers, siblings.
I was dead serious.
Parents,
I don't
yeah.
know if you're trying to make a joke
Oh.
out of what I was trying to say.
Maybe the VP family watching the Russian stream, but
True.
T1.
They're probably watching the English.
They're probably BSJ fans. They probably watch your stream all the time
yeah,
too.
they're probably keeping it PMA.
Yep.
我不理解。
BK.
He's just always. I feel like every time I see him, he's ball lightning away from one of the cores on T1. He's not like
Did you
dying
see-
per se, but he's scared. of
Do you
dying.
see the VP net worth, by the way?
Which hero am I looking at?
The one that's second highest?
Oh wow!
Yeah. Well, I was like, oh, Storm's 6. Okay, his offlaner is slightly ahead of him. I was like, wait, that's not the offlaner.
Somehow I didn't notice that.
He's got the Philly,
Radiant's
but
bottom tower
That's
is
he's
true.
also just been the one farming and pushing lanes and getting kills.
fortified.
It's one of those games where Storm and Sven are cores that just need space, and T1 has been running at those two guys so much. Because they're not like ganking; they're kind of just running at them.
Dire's middle
You know?
tower is
Yeah.
under
Like none of them are dying. In terms of, like Nightfall isn't dying while he's farming. He's just constantly. Okay,
With a war, they saw him.
he wasn't farming right here, so this doesn't count.
Yeah. Don't worry. I pulled one. You had to pull one too. We shouldn't talk about Nightfall. It doesn't end well.
Sorry, Nightfall.
His parents watching and cursing us for.
Cursing him.
Yeah, exactly. And VP, they're playing around where they have vision in these high grounds, but T1 are just never really coming into these traps. As Spectre does exactly just that, so to curses continue, but he's
might
still
just live.
living armor. No, not going to come out in time. There's revenge kill.
This is like the story of this game.
Yeah.
Kill one guy on T1 because they invest everything, and then
Yeah.
lose two heroes because the rest of T1 has shown up by that point because it took so long.
It's always Echo plus Global. It's like these two super long cooldowns. They kill a pretty high value core, but they lose at least one, usually 2, maybe 3 heroes. And then they have to play with the spells on cooldown. So now it's like 2 minutes where T1 can take Roshan, take over the map. They don't really take Rosh well, but they can just do whatever they want here.
Yeah, this is conceptually a really cool draft by T1 that I didn't understand at first, but I always have to be reminded of this for some reason. A lot of people think of Storm's main issue as mana, like as a hero, that's what he runs into, but it's actually the fact that his mana runs out before he can kill you. So it's like
Dire's bottom
damage
tower
issues.
is under attack.
That's his issues. And he's against Tree, Spectre, Necro, Doom. How do you ever have enough damage? to
Infernal
kill
Blade
these
damage.
heroes?
That was so
much
cool.
damage.
He actually didn't right-click right after hoofs. He waited so he could like chain the stun on his Infernal Blade. That was actually so cool indeed. Sven trying to go in and kill this pesky
so
CM.
bad.
The CM just using the Shadow Amulet to stay alive. Whitemon, he gets healed up, then he gets a freezing field off. Oh no, Virtus.pro! They get rocked. Absolutely rocked.
When you are getting dangled on by a CM,
Of
that
all-
is not good.
This may just be entering GG territory. This game just feels like psychologically damaging for VP. They've had such a good day one. They're still in a perfectly fine position as he TPs out in front of them.
He didn't even have to TP there. The Storm was still dead for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle
He just
tower
wanted
is
to
under
go
attack.
back, get some items or something.
That was efficiency, I think. He wanted
Yeah.
to like get back to base ASAP so that he could run back out as fast as possible.
to abuse his mice.
Of course, that's what I mean.
yeah.
Yeah,
Radiant's
Faster
top
minded.
Not to
I-
run at
under
heroes,
attack.
but
No,
to Midas. Yeah.
You talking to me?
Oh, I actually thought I actually thought you said something, but that was just Kyle. Thank you, Kyle.
The stench of death is appalling.
Still hard to get used to when it's your guys' voice in the game, like other casters that I spend time with.
Tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
Yeah, it's still hard to get used to.
Well, for T1, I mean, they got the win last game, but this game has been even more dominant and even more impressive. Like, this game, I am impressed by T1 and how they're playing.
Oh, they're just playing way better. Like they're just straight up being better.
Oh, another Spectre Hall play. Cuckoo has the Reaper. It won't get the Reaper kill, but it will get the kill.
It's even better because he gives the kill to Savage.
Okay,
death
So
is
it's,
upon you.
yeah, you're not giving the respawn time penalty, but is he even using his life for anything on Nightfall at this point? I don't think he's really hitting creeps. And good to see that Carl's enjoying himself this game. He's blinks on a cliff, and he can appreciate his own looks, as he says he's a handsome devil.
You saw it.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, oh.
that's the one.
And another.
That's also the one. You can see T1 are just tipping all over the place, using voice lines. They're films. And against VP, you kind of have to do that because I think VP, they're alongside OG are probably the two most like voice line heavy teams.
Yeah, you can't take it. You can't dish it out. You know?
This is a series VP are going to want to forget and move on from. After a 5-1 day one, they are going to open up day two potentially with a 0-2.
This is such a VP thing. Like, no matter what, you can't take the organization out of the team. You know, like it's just such a thing to go 5-1 and then go against the team that's 0-4 and lose 2 games. Now, on the other hand, I'd say T1's way better than what you.
Blink Echo with a nice cookie follow-up in the Global Silence. They'll kill one, the Necro. Can they get both here? 22 Savages bouncing around with the Haunt. And it looks like DM getting low, trying to use the invis. There's going to be a ball in, but he's got the Aeon Disc. No, they're going to get the kill. Nicely played there, but the Spectre doesn't end up going down just yet. 23 Savage. Have they got the damage for this one? Oh, Carl, he's on a monster kill. He's just destroying everyone. GPK just staying in those trees.
Does he have a TP on Storm?
He's got some mana, but no TP and no TP. I don't think they seem to know he's there.
Yeah, but where does he go from here? You know,
Cut a
what's
wave
he-
or something,
Yeah, I was
maybe?
gonna say, wait for the next creep wave.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
The stench of death is upon you.
I was gonna say, I think T1's much better than the average team you'd see at 0-4. So I guess
Yeah.
it's not like that bad on the side of VP. But the fact is, you know, if you're gonna reliably make up a bracket, you can't be dropping 2-game series to teams that are starting in the lower parts of the bracket.
Still, as far as places to go, if they walk away 5-3 after this series, like, you know, that's still that winning record that may get you the upper bracket, but
I'm just saying now
Yeah.
you're suddenly in a spot where you lose 1 game to one of the other top 4 teams, and
Yeah.
you might be dropped out because of this series.
oh, for sure. No, you have to definitely not take anything for granted here. Upper bracket is, of course, the goal. Nice to obviously win your group. You get to, I believe, pick your opponent. That's usually how it works. As T1 looking just to bounce back and get their second win of the group stage, and they're going to get the kill and save. They commit the Reaper for good measure, and they'll take out the tier 2 tower.
This is a big series for T1. You know, we were talking about Alliance yesterday coming back from their 0-4, but for T1, much less experienced players.
Yeah.
So I think it's even more important for players like this that, I mean, I'm just imagine, right? They come out of this series and they're 0-6. This is just rude at this point.
Yep.
Zephyr's now my officially favorite player in all of TI. This guy says keep it PMA more than I do. But I was just gonna say that imagine being 0-6 coming out of this series with VP. I think T1 would be in the dumps. You know, like they'd be sad. I have to imagine.
Dota's such a momentum game. It could
That's-
just
yeah.
it could literally they could just ride this and, you know, go win most of their games today and tomorrow and suddenly be like a top 2, top 3 team in the group stage. It's entirely plausible. We've seen it before at TIs, and 23 Savage is going to chase down Kingslayer. Yeah. And for VP, yeah, I mean, yeah, they, you know, were a 5-1 team and lose now to a 0-4 team. T1, like you say, not your traditional 0-4 team, but ultimately for VP, you know, if they can get upper bracket, main event is, you know, the goal for all these teams, like doing well in the main event.
Yeah, T1 can still absolutely get upper bracket themselves. You know, they've only lost 4 games. They could easily go like a total of 8-6, something like that.
Yep. You play 18 games, right? No, you play 14, okay. We play 8 opponents, but no, 16.
Oh wait, no, I was thinking 8 group.
Yeah,
8
16,
per group.
16.
Yeah, you're right. 16 games. So I would guess that up around 50% win rate is going to be good enough to get you top 4. Just because.
Well, 4 out of 9 teams, so maybe slightly above 50%.
Oh, yeah,
Just
you're
4 out of
right.
9, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's probably like minimum 9 and 7.
Yeah. I think 8-8, unless you have like a super even. 8-8 probably won't quite cut it. 9-7 will be like maybe tiebreaker, or might get you in.
We're seeing some pretty crazy results today so far.
Yeah.
So I definitely didn't expect the 2-0 from T1. I was honestly hopeful they'd win one game in this series.
Not 2-1, not 2-0 yet, Brian.
I'm
Gotta
very
do the caster thing where.
yeah, if I managed to make that a caster curse, that would be impressive.
We'll listen to Gaben.
Yeah.
1%. It's 1%. So
Okay.
I've seen 0, and 0 has won games before at TI. Name you.
Radiant structures are
And I was just gonna say that on the other screen over here, I
Yep.
see Aster's also currently beating OG.
Yep.
They won
Okay.
the first game and they're winning the second
Wow.
game pretty handedly.
That
And
is.
guess what they have? They have Doom Treant
There we go. It's
on
the
their
hero.
team.
I don't
They're
know
learning.
if they won game 2, but Alliance were winning game 2 against EG. They lost game 1, but so I mean that's the thing. They started 0-4, won 2 games. That confidence booster can suddenly turn around your whole group stage. So Spectre, they find Nightfall. Oh boy.
Dire's top tower.
You know,
Dude,
honestly,
this Spectre act is just insane. That constantly finding these heroes.
when you're ahead, it looks.
Oh, that Echo Slam is not going to cut it. Reaper gets the kill on the Shaker, and yeah,
Keep drawing out this game, VP, because Zephyr is giving me some free advertisement right now.
and 23 Savage is giving me some free fantasy points.
I believe I have. Who do I have on T1? I think I have Carl.
Ooh.
Okay, that's the Wombo combo.
For who? The 5v1 wombo combo from T1. At this point, GPK is like, yeah, 4-man Vortex.
He's like padding
they-
his
they-
stun numbers on the fantasy.
That's true. He's helping out the people who put him in there. That stun number's worth more than the death, I think. I'm not entirely sure how the numbers work.
I have absolutely no clue how they work. I would
And,
imagine deaths are probably pretty costly for 4 players.
Get the Doom out. Carl has been my MVP for this game, the way he crushed that mid lane. Him or the CF, but both those two have been fantastic.
Yeah, I think the fact that he won his lane and was allowed to go Midas while also having like a presence on the map is just like it's just too much. You can't let him get away with that.
Are you sad to see the fountain buffs? If that was like a year ago, they would have dove the fountain there.
Talking to me?
That was
Part of me
is upon you.
like has the nostalgia of just being able to be impervious because the fountain was really wimpy, but I do think it's important to have somewhere you can call home.
Yeah,
Some
encourage
semblance of
PMA
safety.
gameplay.
Yes, indeed. Of course.
Well, yeah.
I was about to say, I hope they GG soon, just because this looks painful.
And the way they were playing when the storm zipped into 4 heroes, I think for VP they'd already kind of mentally GG'd out.
Yeah, they got the 4-man stun into the death of the
Yeah.
storm. That's when you know you're pretty much doomed, literally.
Wow! Congratulations, T1 0-4 day 1, and they start day 2 just 2-0. They can't just
This is a big 2-0 though.
yeah. They can't let it get
VP.
to their head though.
No, absolutely. I would let this get to my head at least a little bit, like in the sense of like ride the wave.
Feel good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I-
You still have to sit back and be like, guys, we're still 2-4 though. Like,
Of course, I'm just saying that you'd hate to see a team like T1 go like 3rd place at the major, look solid leading up to TI, and then just dud it out. So this is great. I'm
VP.
happy to see it.
I mean, VP being one of the hottest teams in Dota for the last couple of years. I mean, as far as non-majors go, online Dota World and some of the other third-party online events, they've been so dominant, and even started this TI group stage. They look that way. So
yeah, this is stable T1, and if Doom's a hero, I think that makes them a lot better
yeah.
as a group or as a team. And I think Doom is showing himself to be very prevalent in this meta because we're seeing a lot of like heroes that just need to be removed from team fights. And we're seeing the Tides, the Shakers, stuff like this.
And they're one of the teams who has 2 players who play at the mid and the offlaner. So
Yeah.
that's always a nice little bit of extra flex that they can do. But that does it for us. We're done casting for today.
Easy.
Yeah, we've got some better casters coming your way, so don't worry, guys. Appreciate putting up with us, but we'll be
Your words, not mine.
yeah, exactly. Check out PMA BSJ. Check out his voice line. It's a great one. I have some
honestly
shitty
don't
Australian
even
accent.
know what yours is.
Yeah, jeez, I'm plugging your voice line. You know what mine is. It's just
I would like make some shit talk where I'm like, I haven't even heard yours yet, but I'm like, the only guy that said mine is Zephyr throughout the whole tournament.
We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see if we're still casting together. I don't know if we'll have to see if we can sell
Yeah.
our differences. Hopefully by then BSJ knows my voice line, but
I'll
thanks
do my
everyone.
homework.
Thanks everyone. We'll see you soon.